questions of the day on industry perspectives on Moringa products. So participants, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box. We'll bring them up after the end of the session. So without further delay, we will proceed with the first technical session on processing and value addition of Moringa.
For this session, we have with us Dr. Vincent Hema, Associate Professor, FPBIC, NIFTEM, Thanjavur. Madam got her graduate and doctoral degree from Tamil Nadu Agriculture University in Food Science and Nutrition. She began her career in NIFTEM, Thanjavur as a senior researcher with a specialization in functional food product development at Food Processing Business Incubation Center. She has received several awards, including the NIFTEM Thanjavur Dr. Subramaniam Best Scientist Award for Outstanding Research, SKOCH Group Safe Food Project Merit Award for Non-Dairy Millet Ice Cream, and Maua Nutriba. She was the awardee of the fellowship by the University of Saskatchewan and Saskatchewan Pulse Grower Association for Doctoral Research and Women Scientist Research Fellowship at Department of Science and Technology for the development of diversified functional food products. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. The session is over to you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So, of course, that value addition of Moringa, that miracle Moringa market, of course, we know that status in India is the largest producers and suppliers. Of course, that market status, you can see, it can be a food supplement, and also it can be a pharmaceutical ingredients. It can be a additives and as well the product. So also that miracle Moringa market, you can see that popularity we have globally. We have the import market, and also we are important playing important role in the export market, of course. So the main market what we have as a food supplement, we are supplying the European market. The market size also you can see it is expecting that 12 billion by 2028. Global market also India play major role. More than 500 to 1,000 tons of Moringa and its products we are exporting, and that annual growth rate it is indicate more than 10%. Main imported market, European markets, we could say German, US, Austria, France, and Spain. And the product in terms of products, so that we can say that Moringa business and entrepreneurship development, it's a lighthouse for the healthy life and way for the happy life. It's all part of Moringa we can use in terms of leaves, bark, flowers, fruits, seeds, and roots. That ingredient market, you could see the global market in terms of leaf powder market itself, that will more than 6 billion market size we have. And also that Moringa seed oil, it's also called as Ben oil, and is that Moringa Ben oil also it is having the highest demand. And also the leaf of the Moringa, we have a good demand in the beverage industry. Of course, that refreshing beverage like tea processing, more than 7.5% growth rate is there. And the European market, and not only European market, and NA market and APCA market also, the growth rate was quite high. So that the reason, because of the market size and demand, the recent trends, we have the potential uses of Moringa in all industry in terms of food supplement, food fortificant, food additives, sport nutrient, and it can as a hydrocolloids, and it can also be a water purification agent. And then but hardly you can see in an Indian scenario, we have only 2% only we are processed out of this. More than 40% are getting paid at the farm gate level. I'm not talking about the post-harvest losses. Farm waste more than 40%. The farm waste, when we talk about the farm waste, more than 1/3 of our global production getting waste at farm gate level before reach to the fork to the consumer. So, but we have a n number of potential opportunity we have by using the Moringa, that industrial application, not only agro food industry in terms of we use as domestically vegetable as a beverage, and of course it can also be used widely in agro industry as a green manure and growth hormone, and transport and lubricant industry they used as a biofuel, and cosmetic industry like skincare, hair oil, and the paper industry, textile industry, and and water plant industry, and of course widely used in pharma industry. It can be important potential ingredient and additives as a stabilizer. Mainly they used as a starch source for suspending agent and disintegrating agent and binding agent. And of course that food and pharmaceutical application and parts of all the parts of Moringa. So the tree of life of Moringa, it has the potential uses in the form of seed, leaf, bark, stem, and root. So the root mainly used as a starch. Mostly the biomaterials they used for the pharmaceutical industry, and the seed oil, of course, it's also known as ben oil, and it is used for the used as a perfume and as well the soap production. And the flower of the moringa seed also it can be fortified in the food application, because since it has the bioactive components and the essential nutrients in terms of polyphenols and of course the plant protein. And leaf, invariably leaf also it is widely used as a powder and flour for fortification and amala food and dough industry, and of course other beverage industry like tea and soup industry. So nutraceutical potential of this part of the moringa, when we talk about the leaves, leaves is a very good potential component of a protein. The plant, when we talk about the plant proteins, fruits and vegetables are deficient in plant protein, but we have the good amount of protein what we have in moringa leaf. Of course other active components, phenolic acid and flavonoids, and flowers also it has invariably enzymes and glucosinolates and tannins present in the pod, and the stem also it can be highly nutritious. And of course the seed invariably we have the all the functional component. Those bioactive components and functional components, you can see the essential amino acids and essential fatty acids, what is important for the functional component for the healthy life. It can be used all part. And across the globe we have the different cultivars, different species, more than 13 species of plant species, and the tree species also is there. Part of this plant also we have the more biological activity. It has health benefit in terms of it can be an antioxidant and antimicrobial agent. It can be used as a wound healing agent, anti-tumor agent, and it can be used as a prebiotic and probiotic food what we have naturally. So that is called as natural nutritious for the tropics. So the superfood of moringa and its leaf also you can see comparably the rich sources of protein than the egg, and the rich source of calcium than the milk, and the rich source of minerals in terms of potassium than the banana. So comparably it has the good amount of functional components, and the R&D therapeutic study also indicated it has anti diabetic agents, and the natural nutritious for the tropics of this moringa leaf. Invariably it has the functional component, especially when we talk about the protein and its protein quality also it has the good function. The chemical score and protein efficiency ratio in terms of protein digestibility indicate the amino acids value also is very good. So the value chain and value addition of moringa, it has the lot of scope, and novel approach and the sustainable food approach for the developing countries is recommended. This moringa and the entomophagy is a vegan protein and in the form of a powder, isolate and concentrate. Because of these sustainable approach could be save millions of life in the form of flour or value-added food product. That sustainable approach by using this Moringa nowadays, most of the developing and developed countries, they used this Moringa infused gluten-free products for health boost for all. So the successful R&D they conducted and extract of this Moringa leaf into the sourdough and this bread industry. They developed the gluten-free product with good functionality and good availability of all the other nutrients. And for that extractions, we do have the dehydration of Moringa leaf with different pre-treatment and processing. And this, of course, we will get the good price amount of the Moringa leaf powder and Moringa leaf curls. If you have these good properties in terms of deep green in color and rich in nutty flavored and article says maybe you can vary according to the client interest from 50 micron, and these moisture content also should be maintained to extend this stability and quality of these commodities. For the processing of this Moringa leaf powders, this selection of these sound leaves and the segregation from the insected, and so you can see that the insect also love to have this Moringa leaf like caterpillar and other worms. So because of it has high amount of protein and all the other essential nutrients, due to the polyphenol oxidase enzymes, these responsible of discoloration is present in presence of oxygen. You can see in this white spot on the leaf and this color. This type of degraded leaves should be separated from the sound leaves, and then it goes to the further processing. The separation also, Niptam tea developed this Moringa leaf separator. Using these separations, you can have with a pre-treatment to improve this quality of Moringa leaf. In terms of pre-treatments, why it is insist to do the pre-treatment, improve the chlorophyll, and also it will be remove these unwanted gases what present naturally, and soluble substances also can be removed from the cytoplasmic membrane. That will be improve the quality of your leaves, and also it improve these gelatinous properties of the starch. Due to the infusion of this treatment through the intercellular space, we can able to get the better quality of products. So the pre-treatment also should be considered based on these conditions of the process and based on the objective of the product, the size reduction and temperature and time control. We could able to get the better quality. And also here we can also use the water saving technologies like RF radio frequency sterilizing treatment. Since that radio frequency sterilizing treatment, it has a low frequency with a high penetration rather than the microwave treatments what we have. And of course we can also have the another potential technology like ultraviolet sterilization, ozone technique, and this steam plunging. You can see the protein content in 100 grams of leaf, you could able to get more than 25 grams of protein. Comparably, we can also have these different drying facilities like hybrid solar dryer. Even rainy season and windy season also you can able to get this drying properly with uniform quality. And instead of solar dryers, if you have the small investment, you can use the solar dryer and as well the cabinet dryer. And similarly, you can able to reduce the process time by using the fluidized bed dryer. Within 2-3 pass, you could able to get the Moringa leaf pearls. And the tunnel dryer 3 type, tier 4 type, and 5 tier tunnel dryers would also be used. And when you do this drying to control the time and temperature, you can able to control the nutrients losses during processing in terms of protein and vitamins what we have highly present in this Moringa leaf. We could able to get, you can see, more than 30% protein, more than 30% vitamin C, affordable from this processed Moringa leaf culls. That further it can be processed into powder, and also it can be processed into culls. So like that quality requirement for the global market, it should be appearance should be very fine powder with a micron size of 50 to 100 micron. And also the moisture content also will it be a matter to maintain the colorant of the, because dark green color looking the freshness to the freshness indication. So that also it should be we have the limitation for the lead, cadmium, and the mercury, and also the total plate count and microbial count also we have it should be nil, and the salmonella and other microbes also should be nil. So if you have this spec in your moringa leaf and powder, you will get good price and market. You can see that powder exported to different country, that quantity and price per kg. The moringa leaf powder, you can see per kg Australia 7,300 rupees, but in our farm and in our home, that moringa leaf are without it is under-exploit and underutilized. So even you can affordable with the 1 kg of moringa in free of cost in our farm. So, but that global market, you can see US is having the good export market. You can see that per kg it will be very depends on the quality, the process product price will be vary, and also it can also be a process automation with that continuous lines of the chopping machine, inclined conveyor with a transferring from one unit to another unit, and you can easily washing with bubble washer, and the with the conveyor we can able to produce the moringa leaf powder and moringa curls as a superfood. So in Niftam also we develop this technology for this so as well it can be transferred. So it is a good substitute for the caffeinated energy drink industry and beverage industry, and also it can be, we can develop this functional drink like protein and energy drink by using these rich sources of plant protein. Of course, you can see as per our result also, you can see more than 30% of protein present in this powder. And of course, not only leaf, the seed also can be used as a good value added commodity now. So the seed with germination and without germination, with dehulling and without dehulling, and with the fermentation, you can develop this moringa flour and seed flour. That flour can be a good source for our stable diet. Invariably cereals and these our snack food processing industry. It can be a raw, germinated and fermented, and it can be that malted seed flour also can be a good source for the industry. Like vegan nowadays, you can see that vegan milk and vegan food products becoming very trendy. So non-dairy type of yogurt and moringa milk can able to produce, and also it can be 40% of more than a moringa seed kernel can be used for this yogurt, and that also further it can be that extract will be a promising natural thickness as a agent for the smoothie and other breakfast cereals. So that R&D also resultant that that it is the lower values of these synergies was observed in if you use this moringa as additive in this type of food products, and also it the notably it improve this viscosity for the beverages, especially plant milk and smoothie. And that when you do process this moringa seed milk, it has the good amount of GABA aminobutyric acid, which is a good amount of nutraceuticals for the serotonin hormone secretion and for the brain and memory. And it will be give more briskness and strength to the consumer, and easily it will the digestibility and absorption also quite good, and also we could able to use this as good ingredient for the additive as additive in the dessert industry and the beverage industry in the form of milk and powder. Further, it can also be a pick-me up diet and ready to eat health bar, and it will be a convenient snack food for the industry. And the flour and the powder of the moringa leaf seed, further it can be used for the man-made engineering food. As an engineer, how they design and fabricate the machinery. So food engineer, we can design the food as per the customer interest and the demand, we can change the range of the shapes and size with various filling and coating with the fortificants and supplements of the nutrients, and it can also be cook and ready to expansion and unexpanded ready to cook and ready to eat product. And Moringa seed pasta technique also Niftam we developed with the balanced fiber and protein. You can see that balancing of the protein and the fiber is quite unique, and it has the good amount of nutrients, and no boil, no oil snack food, like no fry snack food by using the co-extrusion, co-extruded snacks and cracker snacks, and the flat bread, tortillas type of chips, and it can also be a breakfast snacks for the croutons and expanded snacks. So the third and second generation snack food also able to produce by using this extrusion technique with that cold and hot extrusion. These lines you can able to produce around 100 kg per hour. So that further the seed also can be used for the oil extraction with a different extraction method can be used. For Ben oil, we can have the good amount, and that Moringa pod also highest demand in the European market, and a significant source of this functional food. We have the good demand as a present and future, and also export and import market as a flavor enhancer, as a functional ingredient, as a thickening agent and flavoring agents. Since it is a rich source of plant protein, and it will be supporting the immune health and improving the general health. So so you can see the lot of successful product commercial available that industry like Moringa health drinks, that 1 liter of this Moringa beverages is cost is more than 500 rupees. So that Moringa tea in the form of Moringa oil and powder, and further it can be value addition, and that maximum the price also you can get the good amount. You can see that the Moringa oil, the 100 gram of oil, it cost around more than $6, and in the form of powder, Moringa seed gum powder, you can see 180 rupees, and that mix powder it will be cost around more than 140 rupees. So you can make it in Moringa as a value added product using the seed leaf with the combination of seed leaf and bark in the form of dry form, and Moringa honey infused honey becoming very good additional properties, and in the form of tablet and powder we have the good market. So that the fastest growing sectors in Indian economy suggested the to growth rate for the key sector 2040, agriculture and as well the healthcare sector. So you can see the growth rate was healthcare sector is quite very high. So invest smartly to reduce. So as a Moringa investment as a functional food in the form of beverage industry, cereal industry, flour industry, and oil industry, invariably it can be used as a dessert. It can also be used as a dessert industry and baby food industry. Gaining important, you will get this profit. $1 investment, you can able to get the productivity and the profit. It will be a good market. It can be a livelihood for the farmers, and as well the improve the economic value of the producer, and it will be improve the health benefit of the customer. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the enlightening session. Moving ahead with the next technical talk, which is on entrepreneurship-oriented processing technologies for Moringa and missionaries. For this session, we have with us Dr. N. Karpura Sundara Pandian, Assistant Professor, College of Food and Dairy Technology, Chennai. I'd like to introduce Sir to you all. Sir holds his Master's and PhD degree with specialization in food and agricultural process engineering. He has more than 15 years of experience in teaching and research, and also specialized in modeling and designing food processing equipment and technologies in food processing. To his credit, Sir has published more than 16 research papers, 20 popular articles, 4 book chapters. Sir has received several awards such as Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology Award, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research Award, and many more. We welcome you to this webinar, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Yeah, thank you for your warm welcome, ma'am. I'm thanking the NIFTM management and the team who is organizing this wonderful online session. Thanking you all for the nice invitation for this wonderful presentation. Today, I have divided. The one is about my institution, and the second one is related with the title of today's discussion on entrepreneurship-oriented processing technologies for Moringa and machineries. And this is about my college. I am from College of Food and Dairy Technology. This college started to offer its undergraduate program on food technology during 2006. We are offering 2 undergraduate programs on BTech food technology and on food technology, food process engineering, food safety and quality assurance, dairy technology, and dairy chemistry, and corresponding doctoral programs we are offering. And these are the major departments: Department of Food Processing Technology, Department of Food Process Engineering, Department of Food Safety and Quality Assurance, Department of Food Business Management, and Food Plant Operations. And we have other units such as Food Business Incubation Center, Food Analytical Laboratory, Community Cattle Care Center, ICR Experiential Learning Unit, Fodder Production Unit. Since ICR and AICTE, we are following the strict regulations of these 2 bodies. And I'm taking care of the Food Business Incubation Center. The Food Business Incubation Center commenced during 2014. And so far, 17 incubatees graduated successfully. So far, 68 members enrolled. And what the facilities we have on our incubation center is encompassing milk processing unit, milk product plant, fruit and vegetable processing plant, pulse processing plant, chocolate plant, and exclusive unit for meat, poultry, fish processing. And these are some of the galleries, photo galleries of our incubation center. The top one is a pulse processing plant, and this is the liquid milk processing plant, and this is a product plant. And one of the incubatees is manufacturing millet ice cream in our institute. Yes. Another incubatee is manufacturing his milk, pasteurized milk, packed milk in the name of Purich, his own brand name, and he sells in Chennai. And now coming to the title of entrepreneurship opportunities in the Moringa side, we are talking. So already Madam very elaborately covered the economic parts of, and the same thing is given here. And what work we have done in the College of Food and Dairy Technology, I'm covering here. So one of the master's work is on the fortified Moringa fortified food products. So what the work covered is powdering of leaves, powdering of pods, and powdering of flowers. So the leaves are powdered, shad dried, and the flowers are shad dried, and it was powdered. Parts were cut into pieces and they were dried in the tray dryer at 60 degrees Celsius, and it was converted into powder. So we have taken these 3 powder, and we have studied the nutritional properties of these 3 powders. This MOLP represents leaf powder, and this PP represents pod powder, and FP represents Moringa flower powder. So what the interesting information what we have gained, this leaf powder contained a maximum amount of protein. The fat is higher in the pod, and the crude fiber is this a whole pod. No, it was dried and powdered, so it contained maximum amount of fiber, the pod powder, and whereas the flower powder contains maximum amount of ash and carbohydrates. So the vitamin A and vitamin C was analyzed, and it was observed that the leaf powder contained maximum amount of vitamin A. So that was quite interesting information. The leaf and the flower beneficial properties, and again checking with the mineral contents of this moringa leaf powder, pod powder, and the flower powder. The calcium is higher in case of leaf powder, and iron is again is higher in the leaf powder, and followed by the flower powder. And potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, and zinc. These all are higher in the leaf powder and the flower powder. So what we have the leaf powder and flower powder, and for 332 grams of leaf powder, we have taken 57 grams of flower powder based on the optimization to fulfill the daily recommended dietary allowance of men and women. So based on that, it was optimized to contain 332 grams of leaf powder and 57 grams, and it was mixed, and from which we have taken the proximate composition. So that is called, the combination is called Moringa super green powder. So we used to call it as Moringa super green powder. So, and we have analyzed its proximate composition, and we have seen that the crude protein is 37%, and the fat is 3%, and whereas the moisture is 11, and the crude fiber is 15%, and the carbohydrate is 22%, which gives the energy in terms of kilocalories grams of Moringa super green powder to fulfill the recommended dietary allowance of men and women is with this information. And vitamin A and mineral contents. And vitamin A, the 5,275 micrograms were recorded for 100 grams of the Moringa super green powder. And vitamin C is higher, and vitamin E is higher. So this composition was found very great, and its properties, physical properties were studied, and it is antioxidant properties, the free-ranging, free radical scavenging activity of that Moringa super green powder, and Moringa leaf powder, Moringa pod powder, Moringa flower powder were studied, and we got the super green powder expressed a maximum amount of antioxidant activity than the leaf powder, pod powder, and the flower powder. And the pod powder recorded the minimum among the test samples, whereas the green powder percentage. So that the super green powder was considered as having the great antioxidant activity. And this powder the super green powder was converted into, was added with some other food products like laddu, this nuts based laddu. We have taken 10%, 20%, and 30% of this Moringa super green powder along with chutney. And it was found that the chutney, which was added with the 20% Moringa super green powder, and the laddu, nuts based laddu, which was added with 20% Moringa super green powder, recorded a great quantum of nutritive properties, and it was optimized. And one more millet based laddus are also added with 10, 20, and 30% of this Moringa super green powder, and it was concluded again with 20% of maximum its nutritive properties. Again, all the three, that's what's that chutney powder and nut based laddu and the millet based laddu added with 20% of Moringa super green powder recorded a good amount of nutritive properties with sensory acceptance of the consumers. And another work on a fortified beverage from moringa leaves, carrot, and irradiated, UV irradiated mushroom, dates, seaweed, and a fortified beverage was prepared out of this. And everything, all the things, the milk, and yeah, this is the flow chart. Yeah, this is the flow chart. The milk was preheated, and it was added with the sugar, and the fortificants of carrot 15%, moringa leaves of 5% extract, and mushroom 6%, dates 2%, and seaweed 1% were added, and it was pasteurized, cooled, and flavor was added, bottled, sterilized. It was retard processed at 121 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes and cooled, and it was kept at ambience for storage. So, and this product with the 6 months storage life, with all this goodness of carrot, moringa leaves, mushroom, dates, and seaweed. And studying the qualities of the control milk, simply a milk. Here, the control is simply a milk, and it's a fortified beverage. And it was interesting that the vitamin A and vitamin D levels were increased with added milk, and the iron content, calcium, magnesium, zinc, and iodine, means the mineral components of the beverage was found increased than the control. And the last product, which is Moringa pickle, that was developed in our institute. And coriander leaves of equal quantity were taken, and it was sorted, ground into paste. Then it was added with salt and tamarind juice. And instead of tamarind concentrate or juice, you may add lemon juice. And it was mixed. It was heating until it becomes a paste. Since we have added tamarind juice, if we are adding tamarind concentrate, and only to heat much longer time. And it was seasoned with oil, and it was packed, and it can be served for idli, dosa, rice as a side dish, and it will be a wonderful match and alternate to the chutney also. So for idli and dosa, we can use it as a chutney or tokku, and it can be used as a pickle also. This is a wonderful product that was developed. And an incubatee is preparing moringa leaves along with curry leaves, coriander leaves are fried, and it was, and the last, the figure 27 is the last final product of the moringa pickle. And then coming to the machinery parts, Madam Vincent Hema, Madam, covered many of the machineries, and this is restricted with the departing machine alone. This is simply a machine, and it's having pits and a rasp bar. When we insert the moringa parts inside, and the pits mounted with a cylinder will have impact force on the part, so that the parts are being broken, and we can get that seeds, moringa seeds, without any damage at the outlet of the, this is the outlet of the machine. And this is very quite common, and it's quite easier way of taking out the parts, means the part breaking machine to collect the seeds, so that the seeds can be used for the germination. And many of the cases, the seeds are consumed as such, or the seeds are converted into powder, and it is used in the any other further value addition of the food. And the technical specification of the machine is given. It is a 1 HP motor. And what's the findings? When the moisture content of the part is reduced, then the efficiency is increasing. And the parts between 12% to 15% of the moisture content recorded the maximum efficiency of 57, whereas the moisture content of the parts of 9% to 11% recorded the maximum efficiency of 72.7, almost 73% is the recorded efficiency. So it comes to a conclusion that when the part moisture content is very low, to the tune of 9% to 11%, the maximum outcome of the means maximum efficiency of the machine is being witnessed. That's the finding of the machine. So what we have covered in the presentation, the moringa leaf powder, moringa pod powder, and moringa flower powders were developed, out of which Moringa super green powder was produced, and it was added with chutney, nut-based laddu and millet laddu, and it was found that 20% of the added Moringa super green powder recorded the maximum sensory qualities and nutritional properties, and that Moringa leaf added beverage, fortified beverage was developed, and Moringa pickles are of the product technologies developed from the Institute College of Food and Dairy Technology. And the people, those who are interested to take up the technology, they can very well approach the College of Food and Dairy Technology, Food Business Incubation Center at any time, so that the technology can be transferred to the interested. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's really such an informative session for us.
Our next technical talk is on nutritional and therapeutic potential of Moringa. For this session, we have with us Dr. Sija Thomchan, Associate Professor and Head, Kerala Agriculture University, Theresa. She holds a PhD degree in food science and nutrition. She has more than 20 years of experience in teaching and research, and also specialized in food processing disorders associated with malnutrition and maternal health and child nutrition. Her research works was published has been as paper in more than 56 peer-reviewed journals, 28 popular articles, 3 book chapters, and more than 16 national and international conference proceedings, 36 abstracts, 15 booklet and folder, and 5 review paper. She is a life member of Nutrition Society of India, National Institute of Nutrition, Indian Council of Medical Research, Hyderabad, and Indian Science Congress Association, Kolkata, Association of Food Scientists and Technologists, India, Mysore, Karnataka. I welcome you, ma'am, in this webinar, and thank you for accepting our invitation. The session is over to you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. First of all, I thank you very much for considering me to be a part of this program. And I'll be dealing with the nutritional and therapeutic potential of Moringa. So as we all have heard from the previous two presentations, that due to its immense potential in the term of nutritive value, as well as due to the good medicinal properties, it is termed as a miracle wellness tree. Yeah, as we were discussing, it's a fast-growing, drought-resistant tree, and it belongs to the family Moringaceae. It's a rich source of nutrients and antioxidants, and hence it's also known as drumstick tree, horseradish tree, benzoyl tree. There are several names for it. Next slide, please. And when we see the worldwide cultivation of Moringa, we can see it's clear from the pie chart that it's mainly concentrated in Asia, and Asia is the leading producer of Moringa, followed by Africa and America. And we know India is the prime or the largest producer of Moringa with an annual production of 1.1 to 1.3 million tons. And the cultivation of Moringa in India, it's mainly in the southern states, mainly in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, and Andhra Pradesh. And next slide. So coming to, as assigned to me, my topic is on the nutritional constituents of Moringa. We can see that Moringa, it's a storehouse of nutrients, and mainly the leaves, they contain protein, beta carotene, vitamin C, calcium, potassium, and antioxidants. And we were talking about the oil which can be extracted from Moringa. So the pods, they are mainly rich in fats like polyunsaturated fatty acids, oleic acid, linoleic acid, linolenic acid, and they also contain good sources of fiber, protein, minerals, vitamins like beta carotene, B and C. And what is attributed to its medicinal properties is mainly due to the phytochemicals or phytocompounds which is present in Moringa, like the tannins, saponins, phenolics, phytates, flavonoids, terpenoids, and lectins. And the root and bark, they also contain minerals like calcium, magnesium, and sodium. And mainly the phytochemicals which is attributed to the therapeutic potential is morphine and moringinine, which is seen only in Moringa. And the flowers, they also contain many nutrients like sucrose, glucose, amino acids, and traces of phytochemicals. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yes, this is a comparison of the nutrients present in different parts of Moringa. And we can see that majority of the nutrients, they are concentrated in the leaves. Leaves have higher amount of nutrients. Only in the case of potassium, we can see that it's more in pods compared to leaves, whereas all others like the proteins, carbohydrate, fiber, everything is present more in leaves, but they are also very good sources of vitamins and minerals like calcium, phosphorus, potassium, and iron. Next slide. So we were talking about the primary metabolites, that is protein, carbohydrate, the major and micronutrients. Apart from this, they contain many biologically active compounds. So that is why they are called as bioactive compounds, which promote good health. So what are the bioactive compounds which is present in Moringa is the flavonoids, phenolic acids, alkaloids, and glucose enolates. The flavonoids are myristicin, quercetin, and all. And coming to the medicinal properties, we have reviewed the medicinal properties, and it is used in many medicinal preparations and all. So the leaves, they have the medicinal properties to cure asthma, hyperglycemia for diabetic properties, skin disease, bronchitis, cancer, blood pressure, cholesterol, seeds for hyperthyroidism, microbial infection, inflammatory diseases. Flowers have hypercholesterolemic effect. It's used in treatment of arthritis, the pods for the liver and spleen problems, joint pain. The gum that's obtained from the bark is used for healing wounds, asthma, and all. And the bark is used for tuberculosis and all. What we have done is that in my department, we have done LCMS and GCMS analysis to identify what are the volatile and non-volatile compounds present in Moringa. So these were the compounds which is listed as here. These were the compounds which were identified through GCMS, that is the volatile and the non-volatile compounds which is present in Moringa. And we have seen that these compounds are responsible for the therapeutic potential. That is, the myristicin is responsible for the antioxidant, anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, and anti-inflammatory property. The quercetin is responsible for protection against the heart disease and cancer. And certain compounds like adenosine, oligomycin, and what we know is that hematoporphyrin. We say Moringa, it is given to lactating women because it has the capacity to produce milk. That is why it is called as a lactogogue. And the lactogogue property is attributed to the hematoporphyrin compound which is present in Moringa. So these compounds were identified through LCMS and GCMS analysis in our department. Next slide. Next slide. And we have a belief that we should never consume Moringa during the month of, we see in Malayalam, in Kerala, it is Karkidagam month. We should not consume Moringa, and most of the Keralites, they won't consume it in the month of Karkidagam, that which falls between July to August. So what we did is that we did an organoleptic evaluation to see what is the reason. So we can see that when we go for the organoleptic scores also, during the month of July to August, it has a decline in the organoleptic scores. That is, the leaves are becoming very bitter during the month of July to August. Next slide. So what we did is that we did the analysis of the volatile and non-volatile compounds in monthly intervals. Because we want to know what is the reason why even our forefathers or we never consume Moringa in the month of July and August. So we were not aware till now what is the reason for this, why the leaves are becoming bitter during the month of July and August. So when we went for this analysis, we could see that certain toxic compounds, they are seen only in the month of this Karkidagam, and the compounds which were analyzed to be toxic and seen in the month of Karkidagam were adenosine, oligomycin, and euphormin and ampliferon. These were the toxic chemicals which were identified during this period, that is especially in the month of July to August. And certain compounds which were identified were 16-oxopalmitate, which is responsible to form an nausea effect, and other gastrointestinal disorders were seen because due to the presence of some compounds like ginger glycolipid A and all. So these were the toxic compounds which were present only in the month of July and August, and in all other months it was found to be absent. Next slide, please. And the same thing with volatile compounds. The other one was the non-volatile compounds identified during the month of July and August. And coming to the volatile compounds in the month of July and August, we can see that again, the same thing. Some compounds like morphine and dihydromorphine, these are the toxic compounds which are detected in the month of this Karkidagam. Apart from this, some compounds like trithiophosphite, it causes gastrointestinal disturbances, and trichonate, it causes nausea and vomiting. So the next slide. Next slide, please. So, what we summarize is that there is seasonal variation in primary and secondary metabolites. It was confirmed in Moringa leaves. The study was done only in the Moringa leaves. And regarding the main changes in Karkidagam were, there is increase in protein, fat, beta carotene, and fiber content. There is increase in mineral content also, a slight increase, not a very significant difference. But there is higher amount of phenolics and flavonoids and anti-nutritional factors. They increase during this period between July and August, that falls under Karkidagam. There is increase in oxalate and tannins, and the toxic non-volatile compounds were identified, especially in this month. They were adenosine, oligomycin, euformin, and ampliferol. And toxic volatile compounds were also seen during this month as morphinan and dihydromorphinan. And we can see in case of organoleptic spores also, they had the least acceptance in the month of July and August. So next slide. Next slide, please. So these, till now we were talking about the nutritional value of Moringa leaves, and we have seen that it is rich in both primary metabolites, secondary metabolites, that is both the macro, micronutrients, and biologically active compounds. And coming to the therapeutic potential, has a wide therapeutic potential. That's why the terms like superfood, miracle tree, and all. So the first one, these are the fields where it is used as treatment. So coming to the first one, next slide. Next slide, please. So it has got anti-diabetic potential, and diabetes is a condition in which the pancreas are not able to produce enough insulin, or the body cannot effectively use the insulin. So anti-diabetic activity is attributed to the phytochemical constituents which is present in leaves like acid, moringa, moringina, and quercetin terpenoids, and the flowers and fruits also possesses anti-diabetic activity. The quercetin and camphor are responsible for it. And how does this moringa act on this, have this anti-diabetic activity? Next slide, please. And next slide. So this is mainly due to the free radical scavenging activity. In diabetes, we know the high level of glucose in blood. That's evident, and everyone knows that. So the glucose enters the mitochondria. Glucose enters the mitochondria, it releases reactive oxygen species. And this reactive oxygen species, it will damage the cell. Okay, and it will decrease the insulin secretion in our body. So the body cannot utilize glucose, leading to type 2 diabetes. So there are several bioactive compounds present in Moringa. We can see this green one. These are the bioactive compounds present in Moringa. So what happens is that they scavenge the free radicals. So the cell will be able to produce sufficient volume of insulin in this case. So therefore, high glucose enter the mitochondria, and it releases a reactive oxygen species, and this free radical scavenging activity of Moringa, it will bind the free radicals so that it will increase the insulin secretion, and it is effective for patients with diabetes. Next slide. Next slide, please. So even the ports, they have the capacity to reduce the diabetes. So this is a study which was conducted by Gupta and co-workers. They investigated the anti-diabetic effect of Moringa pod extract. So there were two treatments. The one was with control and the other one with Moringa extract of 150 milligram per kg. And the Moringa extract was increased to 300 milligram per kg. And the third one, the drug which is used for diabetes. So what we can see that the serum glucose level, there is a decrease. It is directly related. As the concentration of Moringa extract increased from 150 to 300, there is a drastic shift in the serum glucose level, as well as the insulin also improved. So these are supported scientific studies also. So we can say that the serum insulin level increases with increased concentration of Moringa pod extract. The next slide, please. Coming, next slide. Next is the role in cardiovascular diseases. We can see that they have got antihypertensive activity, and this is mainly due to the thiocarbamate and isothiocyanate glycosides present in the leaves. And we know hypertension, it's a condition of high blood pressure in our body. And we can see in the study the anti-cholesterol activity when in the control, if it was 277, and when Moringa leaves were supplied, the leaf extract, when it is increased from 1 to 10%, we can see that there is a decline in cholesterol level and it comes near to normal. That is from 277, the cholesterol level reached to 210 milligram per deciliter. So we can see that it has got very good anti-cholesterol activity also. Next slide. Next slide, please. So coming to the anti-cancer activity, Moringa, cancer, we know it's a group of diseases involving the abnormal cell growth. It can be used as an anti-neoproliferatory agent and it inhibits the growth of cancer cells. So the compound responsible for this anti-cancer activity in Moringa are glucose enolates. They are present in leaves, seeds, and roots. So the glucose enolates are glucomoringinin, glucotrapolin, glucoberin, etc. And the highest is glucose enolate, that is glucomoringinin, which was found in the seed pulp. Okay, it is higher in seed, which is having this anti-cancer activity. It is higher in the seed pulp, which is followed by leaves with 77.7, and with that of roots, that is only 3.99. So this glucose enolates are responsible for the anti-proliferatory or anti-cancer activity of Moringa. Next slide. Next slide, please. So the anti-proliferatory effect, a study was conducted by Srilada to know the anti-proliferatory effect of Moringa on the epidermal carcinoma on mouth. It was found that increase in volume of Moringa leaf extract will decrease the proliferation of cells. Okay, it's very clear from the graph that when we increase the Moringa leaf extract, the cell multiplication or the cell proliferation is lowered by 85%. There is decrease in 85% proliferation. Next slide. Next slide. So in our department, we have done the anti-proliferatory activity in hepatic cancer cell lines. So x-axis indicates the concentration and y-axis indicates the inhibition percentage. So we can see that there is the percentage inhibition in proliferation cells was 12.5 at the beginning, and the inhibition rate increased to 20.6%. So we can say that the multiplication of the cancer cell line, there is an inhibition of the cancer cells when we administer Moringa leaf. Next slide. So I think it's in the study itself, we can see that the hepatic cancer cell lines were used as a control, and when we administered Moringa leaf extract, it induced cell death, and the projected inhibition coefficient, the effective, that is 50% inhibition of this cell multiplication was possible at the amount of 41.32 microgram per ml. So this was the IC50 value, what we have done in our department. That is, it can inhibit about 50% of cell multiplication when we administer this Moringa leaf extract. Next slide. Next slide. Ma'am, can you change to the next slide? Okay, so regarding the antimicrobial activity, we know antimicrobial means Moringa, it has a capacity to kill or destroy several microorganisms and stop their growth. So it was found that it has antibacterial activity, it has antifungal activity, and antiviral activity. The antibacterial activity is attributed due to the presence of tergospermin in roots and flowers. The antifungal activity is due to the compound rhamnosyl benzyl isothiocyanate, which is present in the roots, and the antiviral activity is due to isocyanate and nasimine in leaves. So this is effective against herpes simplex virus 1 and virus 2, and it has been found to be effective against hepatitis. And several antifungal agents like Aspergillus flavus, penicillium species, Niger and all, even it is found to be very effective against the antibacterial E. coli, Salmonella typhi. Several studies have proved that they have got antimicrobial activity also. Next slide. Next slide, please. Ma'am, am I audible? Yeah, thank you. So the antibacterial effect. So this slide shows the antibacterial effect of Moringa leaf extract. So the steam distillate was used for the antibacterial effect, and the percentage inhibition was measured, and you can see that it has got very good antibacterial activity. That is more than 70% inhibition was seen for E. coli, and all species shows the 40% inhibition, and the highest inhibition, that is for more than 70% in E. coli as well as for the Staphylococcus bacteria, was seen. Next slide.
Ma'am, actually it takes 2 seconds to show in our system when we are changing. That's why the delay.
Okay, fine. Sorry, I'm sorry. So the antibacterial effect of Moringa leaf extract. So here we have compared with 3 types of extract, like the aqueous, ethanol, and chloroform extract. And it was found that the chloroform extract is more suitable for the highest zone of inhibition, followed by the chloroform extract, except for the Staphylococcus aureus and Pseudomonas. And we can conclude that it has got very good antibacterial activity for this Moringa leaf extract. The next slide. So there is even it has got good antifungal activity also. So here we can see the antifungal activity of different Aspergillus species, and it was found that there is also more inhibition was seen in Aspergillus niger, that is more than 45% was observed compared to this Aspergillus oryza and other species. Next slide. So it has got very strong antioxidant activity against free radicals, and they prevent oxidative damage due to the enrichment of polyphenols. It has rich in antioxidants. So, and this antioxidant activity is mainly attributed to the chlorogenic acid, rutin, quercetin, glucoside, camphorol, and rhamnoglucoside. Next slide. So, the antioxidant activity of Moringa, it is proven with the help of DPPH free radical. We all know that we use the free radical scavenging activity to know whether it has got this antioxidant property. And we can see that Moringa stem extract had the highest amount of antioxidant activity, followed by Moringa leaf extract when compared to the standard. And the scavenging activity, that is the SC50 value, indicate the high antioxidant activity in Moringa leaves. So this has been proven that it has got very high free radical scavenging activity, and this makes it suitable for many therapeutic properties like cancer, diabetes, hypertension, and all. Next slide. So we know DPPH, it's mainly used for screening the antioxidant activity of plant extracts. So what in our study, it was found that this is the most rapid, simple, and widely used method to detect the antioxidant activity. And this graph depicts the DPPH scavenging activity in Moringa leaves. And it can be shown that the concentration is in the y-axis and the percentage inhibition in the y-axis and the concentration in the x-axis. And the projected IC50 value, that is 50% of free radicals were possible at a ratio of 51.57 microgram per ml. So the same activity, so we use several tests to know the antioxidant activity of Moringa. So one is DPPH radical scavenging activity, and the other one, next slide, is the superoxide radical scavenging activity. And what we can see in all these slides is that as the concentration increases, the radical scavenging activity also increases. See here, here the radicals are superoxides. We can see that when the concentration of Moringa extract increases from 0 to 30, again there is a steep increase in the percentage of inhibition of free radicals. The free radicals can be removed from our body. The next slide, please. The same trend, I think the next 3 slides, the same trend can be seen in slide 33. Here, the hydroxyl radical scavenging activity is determined. Here also, we can see the same trend. As the concentration of Moringa leaves increases, the antioxidant activity increases. So based on all these values, we have seen the total antioxidant activity in Moringa leaves, and we can see that there is a very positive relation between the concentration and percentage inhibition of free radicals and the EC50 values, that is the most effective concentration to inhibit free radicals in our body, is an leaf extract of 3.60 microgram per ml. So we know Moringa, it has got very good anti-inflammatory properties. So inflammation is the body's reaction to injury and infection. So when any harmful thing enters into our body, it will result in pain, swelling, redness and warmth. So the bioactive compounds which helps to reduce this inflammation is quercetin and camphorol. These agents which are present in leaves, they are mainly responsible for the anti-inflammatory activity. Apart from this, the cunic acid and chamomile cunic acid present in flowers and some compounds present in roots, they are also contributing to the anti-inflammatory activity of Moringa leaf. That is why it's mainly used in Ayurvedic preparations and all, due to its high anti-inflammatory activity. So next slide, please. So we can see that in the next slide, we can see that there is a drastic decline in the, whenever inflammation comes, it is edema also accompanies along with inflammation. So in this study, we can see that edema, there is a decline in edema with administration of Moringa leaf extract. The next slide. And the Moringa leaves, they have shown to have some wound healing property also. It significantly increases the wound closure rate, the skin breaking strength, the granuloma breaking strength, as well as it decreases the scar area. So that's why it is very common in our Ayurvedic preparations like Murivanna, because it quickens the healing process and gives almost instant relief from swelling, stiffness, pain, and inflammations. And next slide. So the extract of leaves and seeds of Moringa oleifera, they have shown many hepatoprotective effect also. And in its preventive action against it can be used in the treatment of hepatitis A, B, C, and it can be used for treating cancer, liver injury, etc. So they indicate that the hepatoprotective effect is due to the several bioactive compounds like isoniazid, rifampicin, pyrizinamide, etc. So what we suggest is that it has got very good potential in development of nutraceuticals also. The next slide. Next slide. Superoxide dismutase, the effect leaf on liver injury. Superoxide dismutase, it's an enzyme that prevents the oxidative stress caused by the superoxide radical in liver by converting it into hydrogen peroxide. So here in this study, there were 3 treatments. One was a control, and the other one was the SOD inhibition with carbon tetrachloride was 36.5%. But when we use the Moringa leaf extract, we can see that the SOD, the percentage inhibition of SOD increases with Moringa leaf extract. That is, it's a biomarker of SOD, it's a biomarker of liver function, and it's a byproduct of oxygen metabolism. And we can see that when we administer with Moringa leaf extract, the liver injury is decreased due to the percentage inhibition of superoxide dismutase. So here also, this studies actually it was considered on the effect of Moringa leaves on anti-tubercular drug-induced liver damage. And so the drugs which were used were isoniazid and rifampicin. They were the anti-tubercular drugs used, and the animals were divided into 5 groups. And we can see that the serum bilirubin concentration was also increased in rats with anti-tubercular drugs. They were given anti-tubercular drugs. But when along with this anti-tubercular drugs, when we administer Moringa leaf extract, we can see that there is it offers protection against this hepatocellular membrane, and it can be very useful against the treatment of anti-tuberculosis or tuberculosis. On the 5th day, we can see that they were taken, and the hemoglobin level and the red blood cell and the bilirubin level also it's found to be normal when we administer Moringa leaf extract. This shows that they can be very effectively used in treatment of liver diseases. So next is regarding the anemia. It's a condition in which the number of RBC or the hemoglobin concentration is lower than the normal. So it can be caused by both nutritional factors like vitamin and mineral deficiencies, or due to the non-nutritional factors. So in this study, they were grouped into 2. And the first one was the control, and the second group were administered with Moringa powder, and see what about drastic increase in the hemoglobin level from 6.73, and those who were supplemented with 5% Moringa powder, we can see that there is a drastic increase in the hemoglobin level from 6.73 to 13 gram per deciliter. So that's why it's a good source of iron, and it can be used in the treatment of anemia also, because there is a change in the RBC volume, and there is change in the packed cell volume and hemoglobin also. It is known to act on the brain and nervous system because it has an anticonvulsant agent. It is rich in GABA or gamma aminobutyric acid. So since such activity, it's mainly due to the action of the central mechanism, and it has been used traditionally for the treatment of epilepsy and Alzheimer's disease, because due to the presence of this GABA content in Moringa leaves. And next slide. We know Moringa, it's a great perinatal food. Perinatal means it refers to the 3 main stages of childbirth. We often give Moringa leaves, Moringa pods and all during, it's good for reproductive health. That is for the prenatal period, during the pregnancy, as well as during the postpartum period. The prenatal, it helps women meet their nutritional needs in order to have a healthy pregnancy. And during pregnancy, they can meet their daily iron and calcium needs. Moringa leaves contain zinc, vitamin A, potassium, calcium, and even protein. And in the postpartum period, Moringa has proved to help with breast milk production. That's why we say Moringa as a lactogo. And we have identified the lactogo compound also in Moringa. That is, it is made up of phytosterols. And these act as a precursor for hormones, which is required for the reproductive health. It is rich in certain phytosterols like stigmasterol, cystosterol, and canesterol, which are precursors for hormones. And these compounds, these phytocompounds, what they do is that they increase the estrogen production, which in turn stimulates the proliferation of mammary gland ducts to produce milk. And similarly, in males also, not only for female, it is good as act as a reproductive health. In males also, it is used as a sexual aphrodisiac plant. So it addresses the common sexual performances such as erectile dysfunction and all. It's used for such treatments. Even I told it's used as a lactogogue or galactogogue for milk production, and they have changes in prolactin level. For the Moringa, when we administer Moringa, what's observed is that the prolactin level, it increased from 152 to 231.72 percentage, and this will also lead to the increase in the body weight of babies. That is, from control, it was 3,599 gram. It increased to 3,783 gram. So that's why we consider Moringa since immemorial as good for reproductive health. It improves the prolactin level also. In the study, it is an enhancement of spermatogenesis using Moringa root. So Moringa root is used for enhancing the spermatogenesis. And though the study was conducted in rats, and we can see that when we increase the Moringa root extract, the semen volume, the sperm concentration, and the total sperm cell increased with concentration. It is directly related. There is, it was all the three parameters were increased when Moringa root extract was administered. We have been rushing through the therapeutic potential of Moringa. So I'm not going into detail, as I think the about two speakers who are before me, they have discussed in very detail regarding the commercial applications. So I think these are the commercial applications which were discussed till now. And we know the Moringa seeds, they have got very high they have got very high export value. And these are the commercial applications of Moringa. So I think these have been discussed in very detailed. So there is no necessity to deal it again. As we all know, Moringa oil is exported, Moringa leaf powder and Moringa seeds, they are all used, are exported from India due to its high nutritive and therapeutic potential. So next slides are regarding the value addition only regarding the nutritional and therapeutic potential. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. And I think the next slides, what is already discussed only, which includes the how it is used as a value added one, mainly not only in therapeutic as cosmetic industry, and it is used in the field of agriculture also due to its immense potential as a growth hormone and all. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this informative session and taking your time off and joining with us today. So now we'll proceed to the next technical talk, which is on marketing strategies for Moringa-based products. For this session, we have with us Dr. P.S. Nagarajan, Associate Professor, Alagappa Institute of Management, Karaikudi, Tamil Nadu. Sir holds a degree in PhD Management. Sir has more than 10 years of teaching and research experience and also specialized in sustainable environment, communication and marketing analytics. Sir has published more than 113 research papers, 5 popular articles, 3 book chapters and 4 edited books. Sir has received Best Teacher Award in 2006 from Hindustan Group of Institution and Membership Fellow of Singapore Institute of Auditors. Sir has organized national and international conferences sponsored by ICSSR and entrepreneurship awareness programs sponsored by ADI. We welcome you to this webinar, sir.
So very good morning to everyone who has joined this webinar or something. So as introduced, myself, Dr. P.S. I hail from Alagappa Institute of Management, Alagappa University, Karaikudi. So I am here to discuss about marketing strategies for Moringa products. I have 3 speakers' speech, so which is related to the processing, manufacturing, and the other things are related to Moringa and Moringa products. But I am very sure that with respect to production or manufacturing is concerned, it is not at all an issue too. As a person who is into marketing, I know pretty well that with respect to production, it is not at all an issue. But if you come to the market, it is very difficult. So you people might have encountered several products where many of the products, even if it is manufactured by or produced by like some other firms, their brands into some market, like particularly with respect to Asian market. So you people may be very maybe well aware that like individual markets have their own specific unique characteristics, which is distinct with respect to a particular country is concerned. So there are several geographical areas where based on several geographical domains, their demographic their demographic profile gets varied. So naturally based on demographic profile, naturally based on some cultural differences, perception of individual towards consuming products, the perception of individual towards perceiving the brand itself gets. Hello?
Sir, actually, the slides are not moving and we can't see it in the slideshow mode.
Yeah, it is.
Nandini, share from our side.
Send my slide.
Yeah, that's better, sir.
Yes, yes.
Nandini, you
Yes,
can share
sir.
from our side.
Yes, sir, we can share it from our side. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry for the interruption. So like the three speakers, they were discussing much about Moringa products, their processing, manufacturing, and the other things. But whereas with respect to marketing is concerned, as I am a person in who is into marketing, I know pretty well that with respect to marketing, it is very, 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 very difficult. See, there is there are I have taken two statements from which you could understand how difficult branding and marketing is. Like there are two statements which says companies don't sell products, rather they sell experience and the ideologies. And products are made in factories, but brands are created in mind. So because all these things have been discussed by the three speakers. So with respect to manufacturing, with respect to market, and with respect to their components and the other things. So as I am a person into marketing, I know pretty well that with respect to marketing, it is very, 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 very difficult. Therefore, we say companies don't sell products, they sell experiences, feelings, ideologies. And there is another saying which says that products are made in factories, but brands are created in the mind. So it is not easy. Like marketing is not easy as product. Produce anything, but marketing the product is not easy. So like more to the next slide. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah, please move on to the next slide. No, more to the next slide. So, like a major thing with respect to marketing is branding. So with respect to brand, so brand is an intangible marketing or business concept that helps people identify a company, product, or an individual. So you you people might know with respect to Nirma, with respect to Tata Nano, with respect to Nokia, and several other brands. See, like all these are even with respect to Tata Nano. Tata is Tata Nano comes from Tata. However, it failed because of several reasons. But see, the perception, it is a perception of the people. And it is an intangible marketing or business concept that helps people to identify a company, product, or an individual. A brand is a perceived image of, like I have already stated, brand is a perceived image of a product you sell. So if at all we offer a product to the market, the perception of the people should match with the offerings of the product. The perception of the people should match with the offerings of the product. And simply we say brand is a synthesis of physical, aesthetic, rational, and emotional elements. So with respect to Moringa is concerned, it is an organic product. So like whatever thing which we offer to the market, with respect to India is concerned, like we should give some emotional touch. We should give some emotional components. If at all new brands or new product, like if at all new product, or particularly with respect to these organic brands or organic products are concerned. Can you move on to the next slide? Like many of us are aware about this particular brand. Say studies. So Amul is one of the popular brand which everyone knows. So in India, even with respect to urban or rural or whatever the parts of India is concerned, people are aware about Amul. So why people are aware about Amul and why people have a sense of attachment towards Amul? So because it is uniqueness. It is uniqueness. So it talks about the social issues with a playful perception or perspective of evergreen Amul girl. The COVID pandemic or whatever the things happen in the city, they just interact with the people. So they just give some cartoons. They just, with the help of Amul girl, like they just pass a message. They said transact. They said they just have some sort of transaction with the society. By then, people have some sort of association with Amul. About this Nirma brand. You might have heard this such a slogan, like such a song, like such a song, and it's popular because when multiple brands are available there in the market, the price of this particular brand was very, 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 very cheap, and the way in which they projected to the market. So such was the thing which they penetrated or which they offered the market. Therefore, therefore, this particular brand, that is Nirma, becomes successful. Please move on to the next slide. Please move on to the next slide. See, the next is about this Kodak camera. So with respect to this Kodak is concerned, like several brands are available. However, amidst those brands, Kodak became so like their strategy. See, like Kodak was very profitable, or Kodak was very popular because of their films, not because of their cameras. So it's like such a way, like they were penetrating, and they were like they projected themselves into the market. Like Kodak. People who are running the age of 45, 50, wherever they go, they take a Kodak camera. Now Kodak camera is being replaced, or I could like cameras, digital cameras, even these traditional cameras were replaced by a mobile phone. So like on one side, I thank the mobile phone, and the other side, I curse mobile phone because of several reasons. Like, please move on to the next slide. So the next is about Maggi noodles. So when Maggi noodles came to the market, like people, they felt hesitant to approve, and they did not acknowledge this particular brand would become successful. But however, it popped up. See, it is because like they made a slogan, within 2 minutes we can prepare Maggi noodles. But I know with respect to preparing Maggi noodles, it takes a minimum of 20 minutes. So by means of projecting to the to the working groups, or if both the husband and wife work, they could find very less time to prepare the breakfast. They find very less time to prepare all the food stuff in their house. So for them, it rescued, Maggi rescued their like, it's wasting the time. Rather, it facilitated them with respect to cooking. And it becomes popular only because an advertisement, 2 minutes, within 2 minutes or within 3 minutes, we prepare. Another brand by name. So Asian Paints is the third largest paint company in third largest paint company in Asia, and their approach was, so what they made, they had some close associationship. They made some close relationship with painters, decorators, interior designers, and the architects. That's how they became very popular. So these are the popular brands which became very popular because of branding, like Amul, because of their interactiveness with the society. And Nirma, it could reach large masses because of the song washing powder Nirma song. And Kodak, the price of Kodak camera was 999 rupees. When other cameras were available in the market, where the price was more than 5,000 or 6,000 rupees, some 30 years ago, the price of Kodak was only 999. They became very popular, not only by means of selling cameras, by means of selling rolls, film rolls. They were minting money. Similarly, with respect to Maggi, see, I have stated in the beginning, it is very difficult for the Indian consumers to truncate to a new product, or else to give and to get habituated to a new product. However, based on urgency or based on the situation, like they made a penetrating strategy. They introduced a new strategy, like 2 minutes we can prepare noodles. So as it was stated, 2 minutes, as the advertisement states that you can prepare noodles within 2 minutes, like large number of people bought, and it became very customers. They did not meet the end users. They did not meet the common public. Rather, they had a close association. They had a good relationship with and the other things. That's how they become very popular. Similarly, I should also show some brands which failed. Like some of the brands which failed was again Nokia. Nokia phone, it was very popular. Sometimes back, I think in the year, the price of Nokia phone was 23,000 rupees, 000. But sometimes back, there in the market for rupees 600. So to that extent, see, they failed because they did not introduce, or they did not get accustomed to the new technology. And when other mobile phones like Samsung, like Sony, and the other mobile phones were coming up with new technologies, new models, new varieties, Nokia was very determinant with respect to their traditional mobile phone. And like sometimes back, they introduced some new models. However, and again I would say Kodak succeeded, and again Kodak failed. Do you know why Kodak failed? Kodak failed because they could not do, or they did not like go digital. So that when digital digital cameras were available, like Kodak, initially they did not go for like digital camera. And the other popular brand, that is Bisleri. So you people may be much aware with respect to Bisleri. And with respect to Bisleri, what? And there are several other brands like Pina Colab, Fonsa, Spice, Lemonota. They failed because they grabbed the attention of the audience. See, I have enlisted some case studies where it shows how brands become popular and how brands failed in the market. So as brands, there is a necessity, there is a need for us to have a strong branding, to have a strong branding, or to have a good brand in the market. So now let us see why branding is essential. So strong branding makes your business known. See, several local brands or several regional brands were there. They were not popular. Like, why? A good integrated marketing communication. So therefore, marketers are advised to have the integrated marketing communication strategy. So they make the branding brings more money. You are well aware. So it may supersede other brands which is available there in the market. And like a strong branding gives you business more name. See, branding is not a mere name. Branding is an emotion. So brand. So we have an attachment towards Tata because Tata intertwined the society in many aspects. So whatever the hurdle India has comes to rescue. So similarly, other brands are also, take example with respect to Jio, with respect to Reliance. They are also doing some services. So in seeing how the brands are doing some goodness to the society, people have some emotional touch. And strong branding, we should intimate to the consumers that you are available there in the market. See, the necessity of advertisement is that sometimes back when I was doing my MBA program, many of the professors used to say, good quality products does not need advertisement. But in the current scenario, it is not so the case. Whatever the quality is, whatever the brand is, whatever the things are, it should be upkeep, it should be advertised, it should be known to the public, unless otherwise it cannot make success. And strong branding keeps your business top of mind, like Tata Punch, like internet, like communication connections are there, mobile connections are there. However, Geo could upkeep, Geo comes top of the mind. It is because of the wide network connection, that strong brand building trust with your customers. So it builds trust with your customers. Strong branding builds trust. Then strong branding increases your business value. And there are certain things which is related to brand, like brand management. Like you should be aware about brand management, brand recognition. Brand trust is very, very essential. If you build brand trust, naturally brand recognition comes. You can have a good brand management. The trust is, if people trust your brand, it has good brand image. It has good brand positioning, brand identity, brand equity, brand ambassador, and brand loyalty. So I will share this slide to to the organizers. They will to the participants. Okay. Then why branding? So branding helps to build a trust. Branding states who you are. Branding states what you are going to offer. Branding creates loyal customers. Branding is everything that makes you successful. Branding influences purchasing decisions. See, sometimes back when you go to mom and pop stall, you could see Horlicks advertisement. Not Horlicks, like you could see Horlicks like poster. Like they want to grab the attention of people. Even to the remote villages, Horlicks could penetrate. Like sometimes back, some 20 years ago, you know, these self-help groups. So self-help groups, they were for a specific purpose. But Unilever Limited, they were using the network. They were using the network of self-help groups to market their products to the rural. Even like Tata has some rural network, but they could market their products to the rural people, the rural community, or the rural masses. So it influences the purchasing decision. All brands, not all brands, like some influencing brands or some powerful brands influence the purchasing decisions. Then it creates identity for the business, helps customers remember.
Sorry for the interruption. We are actually running out of time. 2 or 3 technical sessions are also there.
I will finish it within
shortly.
Yeah, within 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. Then regarding like before going for branding, so we should have we should study yourself, study about the brand, hear the voices of the people, understand the feelings of the people. We should analyze the brand, how our brand is and how our competitors' brand is, and we should identify the social conformity, how the people are conforming, how the people conform our brand, and accordingly we should name the product. And simply with respect to branding, there are 4 views: values, vision, visuals, and voices. So we should have good values. Like I just take Tata. So they have good values, they have good vision, they have good visuals, and they have good voices. Regarding the branding approaches, there are several approaches. Like economic approach is a best approach for to reach large volume of people, large masses. And the other approaches are there that you can have it from a slide. Then with respect to the branding process, like these are the steps which any marketer or which any entrepreneur or a person who is new to the market should do. Then regarding creating a new brand, We should determine who our target audience is. Normally, we start segmenting, targeting, and positioning. So determine the target audience. Then we should establish a mission statement. We should define the values, features, and benefits of the brand or our product. Create the visual assets, because visual asset, it creates a good image in the mind of the people. Then find your brand voice, then market your brand. So regarding the phases, brand strategy, brand identity, brand tools, brand launch, and brand building. So regarding branding tips, we should get the brand's DNA. On your brand, building a website or ad that tells customers exactly what you are about. Social media is your packaging. So the other speaker will be discussing about packaging. Give your brand a human face. Like right at the emotional time. In India, people are emotional. So your USP should be emotional. You can verify it. So like the organizer has stated, we are running short of time. I heard some.
Thank you so much for your excellent presentation. Thank you for joining with us.